18, you will see the best in TV. Just talking with Tom. Just talking with Tom. Sit back and listen. You will hear the best conversation of the year. Just talking with Tom. Just talking with Tom. Just talking with Tom. Just talking with Tom.
Welcome to Talking with Tom. I'm Tom Dacey alongside Ed McCarver. Hello, Edward.
Hello, Tommy. How are you tonight?
Good, good.
Good to be back here at 127 Washington Avenue here, the friendly confines of NHTV on a very warm early June evening.
Yes, and we want to let everyone know that's watching live tonight, do not adjust your sets.
Or your calendars.
This is Wednesday, not Tuesday. We're normally on the first Tuesday of every month.
That's right. I forgot about that. You mentioned that. This isn't a Wednesday night show, and I'm remembering a Wednesday night show from years ago. But this is it is Wednesday night, but not our usual slot, but a special time slot tonight for Talking with Tom.
Yes, and we have two special guests this evening. One is a repeat guest from last month.
Yes, one of actually a guest that we just love having on. He makes our job a lot easier, and we look forward to talking to him. I've been hearing him a lot. He's been on WPLR, I think, longer than Chaz and AJ.
So I hear.
That's week, so, and did a very good job too.
Before we get started this evening, we have a studio audience in the studio tonight.
Yes.
I just want to say I hope they left their tomatoes at home. But in case you didn't, you can direct them this way.
I still have some reflexes left. I can duck a little bit, but luckily I have my wash and wear suit on tonight. So.
Ed, I have to admit something I know you're going to be surprised at, but I was actually a Met fan for 4 days.
Really? I am surprised. Now, oh, wait a minute. I have an idea. Does interleague baseball have something to do with
yes.
it? Yes. Well, the way the Mets played after the interleague series with the Yankees, I wish they were still playing the American League, because they, you know, we had hopes for 4 days, but now it's just back to business as usual for the Mets. Thank goodness I have the Jets to look forward to this coming fall.
What's that? Just end the season?
Yes, I know. They'll be saying that by Labor Day, probably. But anyway, yeah, we do have a good show tonight. Some interesting subjects to talk about. We'll get to that in a moment. But
at this time, I'd just like to express our deepest sympathy to our good friend Rich Figluski from the Dry Dock. His mother just passed away recently.
Yes, he did. Rich Figluski from the Dry Dock over in Wallingford, a frequent guest and a good friend of Talking with Tom, and we give our condolences to Rich and the entire Figluski family.
And I know that you want to talk about something briefly that you're involved in. Tomorrow, is it?
Actually, yeah. Let me give it a plug now. Tomorrow is the Special Olympic Torch Run, which will actually be traveling through North Haven tomorrow on June 6th. Now, this leg of the torch run will start in North Brantford at the police department at 8:20 a.m., and they will run to Route 22 to North Haven, where they will pass the torch to Special Olympic athletes as well as police department members and other volunteers at 9 a.m. Athletes will run from Route 22 to Route 5 North and continue until reaching the Wallingford Town line at Wharton Brook State Park, where some Special Olympic athletes, members of the Wallingford Police Department, and yours truly will be there to pick up the torch. It's something I've been involved with since my SNET years back in the 90s, and it's yeah, it happens tomorrow. So.
With our good friend David Blakeslee.
David Blakeslee, yep, a very good athlete, and he'll be joining us in the run tomorrow.
Now, when you're running, I want to know, will Dave Gessert be driving behind you?
I hope not. I hope not. You know, many years ago, Dave, and he claims it was an accident, almost hit me when we were broadcasting the Memorial Day Parade, but there are days I still wonder. But yes, tomorrow, the torch run, so if you see us out there, give us a beep and encourage us, because I guess it's supposed to be another fairly warm day tomorrow. So So we'll see what happens.
At this time, I usually say, Ed, have you done your homework?
Yes, I have, young man.
With Ed's Humor News, take it away, Goob.
All right, thank you, Tommy. Well, Tom, two longtime friends ended up in jail in Central Florida thanks to a bucket list that included stealing from a store. 36-year-old Andrea Mobley and 38-year-old Jennifer Morrow were charged after stealing bathing suits and beef jerky during a trip to Walmart last week. A loss prevention officer told police that Mobley was eating beef jerky in the store and Morrow concealed items inside her purse. They were detained after taking the items from the store without paying. The two women told police they hadn't seen each other in years and that stealing from a retail store was on their, quote, bucket list. Mobley later told a reporter they were just two stupid women doing something they'd never done before. She added, she's ashamed. Well, a 10-year-old boy who found $10,000 in a drawer at a Kansas City hotel room where he was staying with his dad turned the money over to police. Tyler Schaefer found the neatly stacked bills Saturday in the room where he and his father, Cody Schaefer, were staying at a hotel near the airport. Cody Schaefer, a truck driver and mechanic from Rapid City, South Dakota, meets his former wife in Kansas City every year to get his three children for summer vacations. Cody Schaefer said Tyler, a Cub Scout, is always on the lookout for clues and treasure. He looks for stuff at random, Schaefer said of his son. He's very observant. Schaefer said after they checked into their room Saturday, Tyler began opening all the drawers, and it wasn't too long before Tyler announced, "I found money." Schaefer thought maybe his son had found a forgotten $10 bill, but when he looked closer, he saw a stack of bills totaling $10,000. He wondered if the bills were fake, but saw that they had the appropriate watermarks and seemed legitimate. "We didn't know what to do at first," the elder Schaefer said. Schaefer told his son they couldn't keep the cash because they didn't know who it belonged to. They handed the money over to two off-duty police officers working security at the hotel. The officers contacted Sergeant Randy Francis, a property and evidence supervisor who stored the cash at a police facility. Police said it's unclear how long the money had been there, and they can't track down every guest who stayed in the room recently. Police spokesman Captain Ty Grant said Thursday no one had claimed the money yet. And that's kind of a nice young man to do that, decided to keep the money. I know I would encourage my son to do the same thing that this young man did. Well, Tommy, a brawl that started over spilled punch at a kindergarten graduation ceremony Friday resulted in the arrest of 8 people. Police were called when one participant pulled out a pipe and another a hammer. 2 teenage girls apparently started hitting each other at the Michael R. White Elementary School, and their families joined in, Cleveland Police Commander Wayne Drummond said. The fight involved adults and minors, he said. You had adults fighting adults, juvies fighting juvies, and so forth, he said, as parents streamed into the building to pick up their children. No one was hurt, Drummond said. It wasn't clear whether the hammer and pipe were brought to the school or were grabbed during the fight from a janitor's supplies or elsewhere. Police spokeswoman Detective Jennifer Siacha said no charges were immediately filed, but those arrested were being booked for aggravated rioting. Imagine to get a kindergarten graduation.
Oh my God.
Finally, Tommy, some Austrian firefighters didn't have to leave their station to deal with a recent alarm. The blaze came to them instead. Fireman Roland Brandel said that colleagues were doing chores at the station in the town of Pregarten when a car sped in with flames shooting from beneath it. One man grabbed an extinguisher and doused the fire. No one was hurt. The blaze was apparently caused by a cleaning cloth which was left under the hood. Officials say the unidentified driver drove about a half mile to the station after a passerby alerted him to the fire. And there we have some I call it humorous, maybe kind of lame news tonight. One more plug I wanted to do to another friend of ours and a friend to the station, Lindsay Soprenit. And we want to give her congratulations, who completed the Rock and Roll Half Marathon in San Diego this past weekend. Lisa was a member of the team in training for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, and they had their run this past Sunday in beautiful San Diego, California. And she completed the race, and we just wanted to give her a shout out and give her congratulations. And of course, she's the daughter of a frequent Plug of the Tom guest, Lisa Catherine. So congratulations to Lindsay Soprenit and in a good run. And there you have it, Tommy.
Well, should we go to our guest?
We shall. We shall.
please help me in welcoming to our show, first of all, Assistant Director of Community Services and Park and Recreation, EILEEN Pettitt. Welcome, EILEEN.
Thank you, Tom.
Next to EILEEN is no stranger to the Talking with Tom viewing audience, First Selectman Michael FREDA. Welcome, Mike.
Great to be here, Tom and Ed. Always a pleasure.
Just seems like yesterday you were here.
Like yesterday.
No, wait, it was yesterday. Oh, no.
I'd like to start out by asking, I can remember going to the Music Under the Stars concerts when I lived here in town. How long has that program been going on in North Haven?
Well, Tom, the concerts have been going on for approximately over 30 years. I've actually been coordinating them for over 20. They've gained popularity probably in the last 6 years or so, where we're getting people from all over the state of Connecticut showing up on Tuesday evenings. We're even getting people from outside the state, from New York and Massachusetts coming down. It's a great family night, Tuesday night on the town green. There's nothing better than that. We've changed it a little bit, bringing in food vendors, and with Mike's help, we originally were at 7 concerts a year, and then we went to 9, and now we're up to 11.
Wow.
And that will be the subject of tonight's show, is the Music Under the Stars, as it's called, which has its first formal concert, I guess, on Tuesday, June 18th. I know there's a couple of events, a couple of concerts coming up before
Correct.
that we want to talk about. But you can give us a call if you have a question or a comment on it at 203-234-0025. Again, maybe a little bit confusing because it's Wednesday, but we are live, and you're encouraged to help take part in this discussion.
EILEEN, who decides what bands will perform?
Well,
at the
Tom, I
concert?
actually review all the bands that come through. They submit their press packets to me. I take a look at them, and it's a year-round process, actually. And once I come up with a tentative lineup, I sit down with Mike and we go through it together, review, look at DVDs, listen to the CDs, and then we formalize it.
This past year, Tom and Ed, we, in our meeting with EILEEN, we do this every year, as EILEEN said, we've actually listened to some of the residents who have requested some different groups to come in. Primetime was a good example a couple of years ago. This year, I think, EILEEN, In Harmony is another good example, where we got and received a CD. We looked at it, we liked it, we played it. So we like to listen to some of the residents' feedback also. There are some staple groups, though, that everybody likes to see. And these groups, Big Shot, you know, the Billy Joel, some of these are really, really very important to North Haven, and we try to bring them back as often as we can.
How did you arrive at Tuesday night is a night to have these concerts? Is it?
Well, from what I understand, when they first started, they based it on what other towns are doing, and they didn't want to compete with another town. I think Wallingford goes on Wednesdays, Hampton is on Fridays.
Okay.
So
So that Tuesday time slot
is ours. It's in
certainly
North
is
Haven.
and you do get huge crowds. And you mentioned Big Shot. I remember Maureen and I went, I think it was 4 years ago. Just as it's kind of a lark to go see Big Shot, and we were
And of
hooked.
course, the Jimmy Buffett tribute band. What's that, Parrot Beach?
Yes, Parrot Beach. That always has a huge crowd also.
Yeah, and it's fun, and it's funny. And the green is huge. And I remember particularly with the Jimmy Buffett thing, with the beach balls and the.
That's a lot of fun.
And everybody
Yeah.
wearing the Hawaiian theme, and of course the parrot head theme. I am a late blooming parrot head personally. I knew about Cheeseburger in Paradise, but now I know more about Jimmy Buffett than I ever cared to, I guess. But yeah, he does have a loyal following, and I guess these Jimmy Buffett tribute bands have a pretty loyal following as
Yes,
well.
they do.
So,
Mike, we were talking off air before we went live about how the business community supports these concerts. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Well, we're very fortunate here in North Haven. We have a wonderful business community that supports what we're trying to accomplish here, and they underwrite most of the costs associated with these concerts. And every year, we send out letters, and it seems like every year the same businesses and new businesses who come to North Haven are looking to participate. One of the great things for me as North Haven's chief elected official is to have a business community that wants to be part of the town, that supports the community. And every new business that we interview to come in here, we ask them, are they willing to participate and be part of the community? And basically every time they say yes, and that's very important to us.
We probably should go over the lineup now very quickly, and I know the boys in the booth, the boys and Lisa in the booth, I think have a graphic with the lineup, and maybe they could post that. And I think you have a copy there if you just want to briefly. There you have it. It starts. Well, do you want to talk first about Stephen Casano on the 15th?
Sure. On Saturday, June 15th at 7 p.m., Stephen Casano will be performing with some former North Haven High School students. It's a give-back concert. And Stephen was in the high school band, North Haven High School band, as these other young people will be performing with. And what they're trying to do is raise money and give it back to the music department, Ken Tedeschi's program.
Okay.
And this is a very important concert. It's the second year we've done this. Stephen's father, Tony Casano, approached us last year. And the notion of former students of North Haven who had Ken Tedeschi as their teacher, to want to come back to North Haven to do a concert and raise money to give back to the music program at North Haven High School or middle school is really something to consider. That's a wonderful gesture on the part of these young men and women.
And there you see on your screen right now the other concerts very quickly. Rich De Palma.
Who's somebody that we've seen in the past at Jim Zandri's Party for a Cure.
Oh, is that right? Oh,
Yes.
okay. Oh, I did not realize that. So.
Yes, I recognize that name.
Then we have DeSadia, Furious George, Big Shot, Vinnie Carr, the Fairfield Counts Orchestra, Rubber City Blues Band, the Classics.
Classics, another staple.
Yep. Parrot Beach, In Harmony, and Prime Time. So it's something for every musical taste. And is that an aim that you try and do? You try and get the different type of musical genres there?
Yes, Ed. Actually, that's what we try to do. Originally, the concerts were more of oldies and doo-wop music, and I'm talking, 20 years ago when the crowds weren't as great as they are now. It seemed like we had some more older people. Now we've been getting a lot of families and younger people, so it's our job to try to put together a lineup that appeals to everybody. It's a difficult task, but we get it done, and we try to mix it up so everybody has something to look forward to.
If there's a band out there that may be watching that might want to be involved next year, how would they go about
They would, Tom, they could contact my office and at the rec center, North Haven Recreation, and what I ask is they send me a press packet. And most of these groups have a biography, they have a CD or a DVD, they have a playlist, they have a schedule where they do play, and past venues. And I ask them to send it to me, and I collect these year-round. It's an ongoing process.
Yeah, I was wondering how far in advance would a band have to book? For example, this is 2013. Are you already set for 2014?
I'm working on it right now. I'm working on it right now. I try to meet with Mike in the fall, usually October, and have all our contracts lined up and signed by November for the following summer.
And as they say, there's a lot of repeat bands. Are there any groups on this list that you are not familiar with?
Some I have not seen live, but I've seen their material, and they've been recommended to us.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And do you? And again, we're talking to EILEEN Pettitt, Assistant Director of Recreation, and First Selectman Mike FREDA. We're talking about the Music Under the Stars Summer Concert Series here in North Haven. Starting Tuesday, June 18th at the Green. If you want to join in the conversation, you can give us a call, 203-234-0025. Have you ever had a band that wanted to play the Green and you thought just maybe the format wouldn't fit well? I'm thinking more like, what do they call it, a mosh pit or headbanging or music that I'm certainly not familiar with.
Yes, we do receive requests from people that have bands that I just don't think would fit in North Haven, and But you know, I get other opinions from my staff. Mike takes a look at it, and we're always usually on the same page about that.
And we really try, as Eileen said, and I have to give Eileen and her staff a tremendous amount of credit for this. They really do all the work here. I just provide the oversight in terms of support, whatever they need, you know, working with the business community, but the work that this young lady does behind the scenes is just outstanding. We try to appeal to all the different demographics. The concerts are very important to us in North Haven. They're important because for one night a week, as I see it, we can bring a community together and where people can put their personal trials and tribulations aside and enjoy a night on the green in North Haven. You know, sometimes, Ed and Tom, in what tends to be a polarized society, where there tends to be anger out there, what we try to do is bring people together, and it's interesting how relationships are forged. People sit sometimes in the same spot every Tuesday night. They end up talking to people that they meet at these concerts, and they become friends. And that is a nice thing when you can connect people to establish relationships to create a cohesive community. And that's what we really like about these concerts also.
Yeah, I agree. I know Maureen and I, we've come down to these concerts, yeah, we've wound up schmoozing to a fellow Jimmy Buffett fan, and you know, we have made a friend at the concert, so, which is...
And just think, you know, Mike said on the last show that he likes dancing with the seniors, so when you come, you can dance with Mike and the rest of the seniors.
I look forward to it, so... Good point, good point. You talked about the business community getting involved. If a member of the business community that's not on board yet wanted to help with the, or be a part of the Tuesday night event, how would that be done?
Well, we encourage that, and we actually get calls throughout the year, and largely due to Mike's involvement with the business community. He works so closely that he's sparked an interest in a lot of businesses in town. So if they are interested, they give us a call. And I usually explain the sponsorship levels, and we have 4 levels. Bronze is $500, silver is $1,000, gold is $1,500, and then platinum sponsors are $2,500. And with that, they get advertising over a 12-week period in the local newspapers. And all they do is call, we'll put them on a mailing list. Around April 1st, we send out a letter along with the sponsorship form and the lineup for that summer. And give them about 6 weeks to make a decision and get back to us.
We've got some great sponsors, and if I can just
Yes.
take a moment.
Sure.
Yes,
Do you want
please.
to mention some of the sponsors?
We categorize the sponsors in terms of platinum, gold, silver, and bronze. So some of the companies that we have as sponsors, I'll just name many of them here that we have. Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield, these are platinum sponsors. Forget Me Not Flower Shop with Luigi Nuzzolillo. He does a great job. He also passes out flowers on the green before the concert starts.
Yep.
The law offices of Christopher Longley, the North Haven Funeral Home with Brian and Phyllis Havens, tremendous supporters of our community, and Webster Bank. Gold sponsors are Mossberg & Sons, Sims Metal Management. Silver sponsors are the Advisor, the North Haven Police Union, Local 3087, WQUN 1220 Radio, AMR, American Medical Response, Citizens Bank, Quinnipiac University, TD Bank, and Yale New Haven Hospital. And Yale New Haven Hospital is a new sponsor this year. On the bronze sponsors, some of the same companies, or many of the companies from previous years, and some new ones. AC Fencing, Arnold's Jewelers, Larry Lazaroff, a great supporter of the community. Arts TV and Appliance, Frank Polano and Bantam Construction Company. And by the way, his daughter, Rebecca.
Yes.
She sings the national anthem at some of our concerts, and she does a great job. The Candid Group, Capital Studio, Diversified Telecom, Dr. Stuart Lazaroff, First Niagara Bank, Liberty Bank, Marola Motors, Mr. Trophy, the Knights of Columbus, the North Haven PBA, Police Benevolent Association, the North Haven Firefighters sponsored the event, Paul Mitchell, People's Bank. Believe it or not, Quasi Amusement Park does the sponsorships here too.
From Middlebury?
From Middlebury.
Wow.
Robert Furs, the Safe Light Auto Glass, Storytellers Photography, Veolia Water, and the Quinnipiac Chamber of Commerce. And many of the names that we just mentioned here are new sponsors this year.
That's a nice, impressive list.
Yeah, very, very impressive list. So.
Eileen, I wanted to ask you, after a performance is done, do you go back to your office and review how things went?
Oh, yeah. Usually the next day I get together with my staff and we talk about it. I also, I've been to every concert. I don't think I've missed one in my 20-something years doing it. And throughout the concert, I actually walk around the green and I talk to people and I try to get their feedback. And the feedback we do get on these concerts is so positive, it's overwhelming.
The night of the concert, is it nerve-wracking for you, making sure the musician shows up, everything okay with the power? I mean, is this? There's
a lot of coordinating to it. My biggest worry is the weather all the time. That's, I start watching the weather on Sunday and see what happens, and then, unfortunately, the hot afternoons spark up some thunderstorms, and then we have to make a decision. We always try, Mike and I are in agreement on this, that we always try to keep it outdoors. We've been pretty lucky, but to move it inside the high school, it's a beautiful auditorium, but it's just not the same as having it outside on the town.
Yeah, and I wanted to talk about that, and I think again, the boys and the staff have a flyer.
If people
on
have
that.
concerns about cancellation.
Yeah. Because usually, as I understand it, you wait until, is it 3:30 you make a decision? Or
around 3:30, 4 o'clock, because it takes that long to get our sound equipment over to the high school and set that up. So, but like I said, we try to keep it outdoors. Unless it's going to be a complete washout, then we try to go for it and just cross our fingers.
Behind the scenes, though, and she's just touching on some of the things that go on. She has all of the pressure, and she does a remarkable job from the logistical standpoint. I don't have that pressure. I do what I like to do, socialize with the people, get out there and dance with the seniors, and from day one, from the first concert that I attended, and I've also been to every one, the first one that I attended, I recognized and saw clearly all the work behind the scenes that Eileen and her staff does. So my role is to do what I like doing, socializing with the people and dancing with those senior citizens, and we're going to be doing a lot of dancing. I can tell you that.
Get your dancing shoes on it.
Yeah, yeah. It's well, I've always kicked up my heels at the North Haven concerts. You mentioned Wallingford has their concerts on Wednesday. Hamden has theirs on Friday. Have you ever gone to another town's concert and kind of maybe picked up a few tips or?
I've been to a few other towns. We actually, from what I've seen, we have the largest attendance at ours. We also offer more concerts than most towns do. And they become so popular that I'm having different towns call me and asking for suggestions and some help. And some towns, Brantford even showed up a few years ago and wanted to be taken through from the beginning of the night to the end of the night. And now they have a series going on too.
Well, no, what night does Brantford have theirs?
Off the top of my head, I'm not sure.
But it's nothing in direct competition.
No, no.
With North Haven, good. And I know Hamden. And again, I was just thinking about this. One of my prearranged questions here, but I know Hamden will have almost like B-type bands. Like I think they had Three Dog Night and some of the remaining players from Sly and the Family Stone that are still around, and bands that were maybe big 20, 30 years ago that are kind of making the comeback trail, rather than local bands like this. That never grabbed you to grab 2/3 of the Family Stone that might be touring or something like that? You prefer keeping it the way you've had it?
I do. I think as far as budgets, they don't have that many in Hamden because they pay more for each group. The way we do it here in North Haven is now we're offering 11 concerts. Which I think extended, Mike had a great idea to extend it right up to Labor Day, the Tuesday before Labor Day. So bringing in the local groups has helped us be able to do that.
The other thing, Ed, that comes into play here is, as Eileen said, tying into her point, if we're doing 12 concerts, including the one with Stephen Cassano, and Hamden does 4, we're offering 3 times as many concerts. But I've gone to the ones in Hamden, and one year, as an example, they had Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Well, the old Meadowbrook golf course is much larger than our North Haven Green. We get the largest attendance, I think, out of all the other towns. But when there's that type of a band, like Gary Lewis and the Playboys played one year, Peter Noon and Herman's Hermits, they could get on that one concert 15,000 people.
Wow.
And from a logistical standpoint, we've got great bands. We may be able to hold 4,000 or 5,000 people. So we would rather have 12 concerts across all different demographics. So for 3 months, people can come to North Haven versus just 4 concerts.
Yeah, and as I recall, I don't think we ever had a problem as far as parking goes at the concerts we go to in North Haven.
No, I mean, you might have to walk, from one of the side streets, but there's parking in the pool lot, there's parking by the library, by Town Hall.
And our police department does a great job
They do.
in watching over our citizens and those people coming in from other towns and directing traffic and the pedestrian traffic going across Maple Avenue.
Yeah, there's a lot of kids go too, which I
Yes.
think is good. You see, like the Buffett concert, I remember seeing the kids, dancing around. So it was a good time. We've got less than 30 minutes to talk about this. Again, if you want to give us a call, we're live here, a special Wednesday night edition of.
I know, Eileen's just waiting for some phone calls, right, Eileen?
I sure am.
Yes, you can give us a call at 203-234-0025, and anything you want to discuss about the North Haven concerts. Maybe you have a suggestion for a band or something you'd like to see. Do you have a favorite? I'll ask both of you this. Do you have a favorite band that you like to see every year? Or?
I love Big Shot, Billy Joel. Michael Del Giudice does a great job. And
I'm glad I didn't know how to pronounce that.
Yes,
Del Giudice.
Del Giudice. Okay. And Michael's a great guy to work with. But probably one of my favorites is the classics, Emil Stucchio. They've been with us 20 years now.
They're a staple, yeah.
They're a staple, and they become like family. They are great people, and they always put a great show on.
I've been a big fan, and I know they've been there before, but not this year. 8 to the Bar, which I think are legends.
Yes,
I think
we've had them several
the 70s,
times.
I think.
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah.
and I imagine they're probably busy. So.
Of course, one of your other staples is, and I know you get a big crowd every year, is Vinnie Carr.
Yes,
I know that. I know he packs them in every year.
he does.
The senior citizens love Vinnie
There's
Carr.
one for you, Ed.
Vinnie Carr?
Yeah.
And the party band,
there.
Tom. Vinnie Carr and the party band. The senior citizens like him a lot.
There was one band that Maureen and I saw in another town, which will remain nameless, so Wallingford, and a couple of years ago, and appearing July 30th, the Rubber City Blues Band from Naugatuck. They were phenomenal. They have a horn section. I was telling with one of our vast members of the audience here before about the Rubber City Blues Band. You could close your eyes and swear you were listening to Earth, Wind and Fire
Yes.
or Tower of Power. They were a very good show. But have you seen them in
Not
concert
live.
before?
I've seen their DVDs, and I've talked to other people about them. If I try to go, if they send their schedules in and I can make it with my schedule, then I do go see the bands. But yeah, I'm looking forward to them. Also, the Fairfield Counts Orchestra, we're having the first time this summer. I'm looking forward to that too.
Okay, that should be good. And I think we have a phone call
We have a
here,
phone call?
so let's go.
Hi, you're on Talking with Tom.
Yeah, this is Don. I just wanted to call and tell you that I want to thank all of those parties involved in putting on these annual events, from the Public Works Department and Community Services, but a big thank you to all the sponsors. I know that, especially in this tough economy, that coughing up bucks like this can be difficult, but it's a very good thing they do, and I think that all of the businesses that are sponsors deserve as much credit as possible for making these events happen that the whole town looks forward to every year. So thanks just to everyone involved.
Thank you, Don.
Thank you for your call.
Do you go to a lot of the concerts, Donald?
Yes, I would like to say, I go to about half. I would like to say that I am also happy that things have been spiced up. For many years, it was the same old bands, and now they have newer genres of music, which I think is good, and certainly change up of different bands. So there's a little bit of variety every year and not the same thing. So I think that's good as well, that you're not just stuck in the 40s and 50s.
Very good.
It's good feedback.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Don.
Thank you.
Appreciate the phone call. And you could do what Don did. Give us a call at 203-234-0025. Have a question or comment about Music Under the Stars, every Tuesday night starting on June 18th. Who came up with that name, Music Under the Stars? Was that something that's been a long tradition in town? Or?
It's been a long-standing tradition.
I was going to say, since I was going, it's always been Music Under the Stars.
If we have time, can we talk just briefly about the schedule? Maybe a few words about each performer, starting with June 18th, Rich DePalma.
Yeah, Rich DePalma, he's actually a teacher at North Haven Middle School, and he'll be singing songs, Sinatra, that type of music. The next group on June 25th is Decadia, and that's an 80s group. All songs from the 80s we'll be hearing that evening. Furious George, also a local group. The gentlemen are from North Haven, and they do everything from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Then, of course, on July 9th, which is going to be our sponsor recognition night, we have Michael Del Giudice and Big Shot, the Billy Joel tribute, followed by Vinnie Carr on July 16th. And then on July 23rd, we have the Fairfield Counts Orchestra, which will be the first time playing in North Haven, followed by Rubber City Blues on July 30th. And then the Classics on August 6th, which is 50s and 60s. That's the group from New York. August 13th is Parrot Beach, that we've been talking about, Jimmy Buffett tribute.
We'll be there.
And August 20th is In Harmony, and that's an oldies doo-wop type music. And then finishing out with the local group from North Haven, Primetime.
Primetime, okay. You mentioned with Big Shot a sponsor recognition night.
Yes.
Can you talk, or Michael, can you talk about that night and what's involved there?
It's a great night where Eileen works very hard behind the scenes to organize this, and sponsor night is this. We recognize all the sponsors, we give them plaques individually, we bring them all up on stage on our showmobile, and we thank them and give them recognition as a whole to those people that are there on that particular evening. So we never want to minimize, as Don said earlier, Don, when he just called in, we're very thankful for the business community to underwrite this. And that's a small token of our appreciation.
Now, Eileen, we talked earlier about if there's inclement weather. Do you want to give out the number that people can call?
Sure. If they have any questions about the weather and where the concert actually will be, they can call 203-234-2535. That's our information line.
Okay.
And you also have a great website, too. Again, in doing research for this, I just Googled town of North Haven, and got all the information. Except that I did get your name wrong when I was posting this on Facebook. I called you Elizabeth.
Yes.
But was promptly corrected by the producer of the program here. But did you ever have a band or a performer cancel at the last minute? And what happens if a concert is set to begin at 7 and it's, say, 4:30? They call and say, we're not going to make it. Has that ever happened in the years you've done this?
Prior to my taking over, from what I hear, there was a group scheduled to come, and they were coming out of New York, and they got stuck on the highway. And from what I hear from our friend Vinnie Carr is that he got the phone call, and he came over and he performed that night, which was great.
Nice.
In my tenure, we had a performer, Bill Baker, was performing for us, and we got the phone call the day before that he was very ill and in the hospital. So at that point, I actually called Tony Persia, the late Tony Persia, and he came right over and stepped in for us.
I remember that, because Bill Baker was a good friend of ours,
Yes,
too.
yes.
We hope that doesn't happen again this year, but we do have a contingency plan. I want to let you know. I may end up getting up singing some songs to try to entertain the crowd until we can get Vinnie Carr
That's
to
right.
come. So.
Plan B,
Yeah,
right here.
Plan B. I'm Plan B this year.
Well,
Well, we have one that's karaoke trained right here.
I'm karaoke trained, but I have heard Michael sing just this week. I heard him sing, and it was very well on the aforementioned radio program earlier this week. So he did a good job. So if we're both pressed into action,
We may have to be pressed into action.
I do sing Sinatra on karaoke, but so if you wanted to clear the green very quickly, Eileen, let us know.
No, that's have me sing, right? Clear the green.
What do you do? Van Morrison, though, right? It's a Brown-Eyed Girl?
And Garth Brooks.
And Garth Brooks. Garth Brooks. All right. We've got about 20 minutes left in the program. Again, you can give us a call at 203-234-0025. Our primary subject is the music under the stars for the 2013 season. We've got a wide variety of musicians and performers coming down. Do you ever see the bands on YouTube before?
I do.
Before
I
you
do,
see-
actually.
And how important is YouTube in making a decision?
It helps. It helps. Usually the CDs that they send me and the DVDs, that's a little bit better. But yes, I do check out YouTube.
And have you ever had a band that is performed and you've said, you know, never again will they come down here?
Happened last year.
Well, without naming the band, we don't want to embarrass anybody. But what happened? It just didn't fit the audience.
Well, if we can just speak broadly on this, generally, it was not so much the quality of the music. It was more of the temperamental nature of some of the band members. And it was the only time I've ever seen Eileen a little bit uptight at one of these events. So I supported her decision not to bring the band back.
Thank you. Thanks.
Very good. Very good. But for the most part, the musicians, certainly the crowd, the business community, the law enforcement officials, everybody's there is usually in a pretty mellow mood, a pretty
Oh, absolutely.
upbeat mood.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a
Everybody
fun
works
time.
together very well, and it's a pleasure doing this.
You work for the recreation department. Is the summer season the busiest for you?
Actually, it is. We're busy year-round. There's actually 2 weeks in August that we're in a maintenance mode and no programs going on. But
You get a chance to breathe a little bit.
Exactly, and then we
2
start all over again. But as far as summer, we have a variety of camps, and if I could just talk about those for a minute.
You have the rest of my questions.
Great.
So sure.
Great.
Please.
We're accepting registrations right now, and we have several camps. We have a day camp that's located at the rec center, and that runs for 6 weeks from July 1 through August 9th. And it's $160 a week, and it's for children ages 6 to 12. We also have what's called the playground program, and we utilize 3 of the elementary schools in town: Ridge Road, Monowese, and Clintonville. And again, the ages for that is 6 years to 12 years. And we charge $100 for the entire 6 weeks. Okay, and that program runs from 9 to 3, Monday through Friday. We have a preschool program located at the rec center called Little Wreckers, and that's ages 3 to 5, and that runs also 6 weeks, and that's $130 for the week. In addition,
Does that usually sell out quickly?
They do. They fill up pretty quick, and we are accepting registration right now. So I encourage people to, sign up as soon as they know their plans for the summer. They can either do that by mailing in registration to us, or coming right down to the rec center at 7 Lindsley Street.
And I don't know if Eileen knows this, but that was my first job in the town of North Haven. I worked at the summer playground.
Oh, did
really?
You? Did
Yeah.
you?
Wow.
Oh.
I think I did it for like 2 or 3 years in a row.
You enjoyed it?
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. If somebody wanted to get information, how would they do that? Is there a phone number or?
Yes, they could call 239-5321, extension 530. They could stop by the rec center at 7 Lindsley Street, or actually go to the town website, and our brochures are always on that website, and that's www.town.north-haven.ct.us.
Okay. All right. Very good. And I think we have another call, Tommy. So let's take this call.
Hi, you're on Talking with Tom.
Hi, my name is Jim. I had a question for Eileen or Mike. They were mentioning that there was vendors on the green during the concert, food vendors and stuff, and I know that kind of adds to the whole atmosphere. I was wondering if maybe they could go over who some of those are.
Some of the food
Sure.
vendors.
And Eileen, you can certainly chime in. Joe's Ice Cream, J. Ruse. We have.
We have a new group. It's a spud truck coming in.
The firefighters may cook hamburgers. And what we try to do, Jim, is there may be 5 or 6 different vendors. and we try to have each vendor who is selling a different type of food product, and we try not to have a duplication. Those vendors pay a permit fee to be on the concerts or at the concerts on the green throughout the summer. So we try to have, if the number is 5 or 6, a unique blend that complements each other of different food products and beverages.
Okay, and one other thing, as I drove by the green the other day, I noticed there's a recycling bin on the green. Is that for bottles and cans?
Yes. Jim, that's an initiative that we're working with one of our companies here in town called Sarah, and we've put 4 or 5 of those bins that you've seen on the green across town. And what we're encouraging residents to do is to, at these concerts, to put bottles and cans in that bin, and then Sarah, the organization, comes, picks up the bins, sells the bottles, gets the money for the deposits, and the revenue goes to help people with disabilities and employ them in various organizations throughout the town. And it's a wonderful human interest story with Sarah, and we're more than happy to work with them. And for us, it helps keep the environment clean on the green and on some of the parks that we have in town.
Well, that's great, so then we can make sure that the people put the cans and bottles in there and not in the trash.
That's right, Jim.
Absolutely.
Anything else, Jim?
No, that's it. Thank you.
All right, appreciate
Thank
the
you
phone
for your
call.
call.
Thank you.
Nice phone call.
Yeah, and again, you could do with I think probably about 10 minutes left in the hour, and do what Jim did and give us a call at 203-234-0025. We're talking with EILEEN Pettitt, the Assistant Director of Recreation Department in North Haven, First Selectman Michael FREDA. We're discussing the Music Under the Stars, but also touching a bit on the programs offered by the Recreation Department. There was one that caught my eye that I wanted to ask about, Eileen. There's a number of youth programs involving sports participation and physical fitness and things of that nature. But I also saw a one-day course called the College Planning Workshop. Can you talk a bit about that course, how it evolved, and what's involved in the course?
Absolutely. This is a program we ran this past spring. We weren't sure what the turnout would be, and it was actually tremendous. We maxed out in the program. What it is, we'll be offering another one in August 14th. It runs for 2 hours, 6:30 to 8:30, and there's a fee of $5. And again, they can just come down to register at the rec center or mail in a registration to us.
Now, is this for students or parents?
It's actually both. What they do is, it's a group called College Planning, and they come in and they offer advice on how to fill out forms for financial aid. And, you know, let's face it, the economy is tough right now, and people are struggling, and paying for college tuition can be very daunting. And so this group came in and they show different avenues that the parents can go down to try to help. So.
Okay. Very good. We've got about 10 minutes left in the program. We have a very good crack staff in the back room.
Yes, we do.
Lisa and the rest of the staff just outstanding. And they've also told us that we have another call. So let's go to the phone lines.
Hi, you're on Talking with Tom.
Hi, my name's Pat. I would like to just ask you a question about the concerts. Do they ever get canceled and scheduled at a different time, or are they always on the Tuesday night?
Okay. Good question.
Thank you for the question. They're always on Tuesday night. We make the decision based on the weather. If it's not going to be outside, then we do move it indoors to the North Haven High School auditorium.
Oh, so no matter what, they go on. It's just a different venue.
Yes, and Pat, this is Mike. What we do is we wait till 3:30. If the weather appears to be inclement and we think we won't be able to get it in, there's a number to call, and there's a message that will say either the concert is still going to be on, and the other option would be the concert has been moved to the high school. And somewhere around 3:30, Eileen and her staff makes the decision. They confer with me, and then we make that call.
Okay, great. That's really all I wanted to know, because I, in the past, had thought that, you know, if the bad weather was happening on Tuesday night, then it just got canceled. So it's good to know that they always go on.
Yes, and Pat, to your question also about do they get rescheduled, it would be difficult for us to move it from a Tuesday night to a Wednesday night or a Thursday night because those bands are probably booked somewhere else.
True.
So
Yeah.
we will bring it into the high school. The good news with that is that we can accommodate at least 600 of the residents, but sometimes in the past, you know, we couldn't accommodate everybody. But we try to still keep it and offer something that night.
Well, it's always better outside, but it's good to know that they still do go on and they don't just get canceled. So you've answered my question. Thank you.
Have you been to the concerts on the green in the past?
Oh, yes, I go to them all.
Oh, good. Do you have a favorite band?
Well, Primetime's pretty good.
Okay.
But the classics are great, and Big Shot is a popular one too. I like that one.
Well, there's you've hit the trifecta. They're all going to be here this season. So we appreciate the phone call.
Okay, I just wanted to say Eileen does a fantastic job. She's just stand-up. She's just great at her job.
Thank you
We
very
agree.
much.
Thank you, Pat.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pat.
Thank you.
You have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Another
We've
nice
got
caller.
more calls tonight than we've had in the past 6 months. You guys should come every week, or every month. In the college planning workshop, just very quickly, how many in a class before it's filled up?
I believe the last time we had 30 in the class.
30. Okay. Okay. And again, that's still available now?
That is still available, yes.
Okay. All right. Very good.
Sounds like an interesting program.
Yeah. Yeah. And one that's much needed. What made you decide to have it? You were just approached by a group? Or?
Yes, they did approach us, and we thought, you know, if we can help people out, you know, our department likes to put on other things other than just recreation and leisure activities. If we have some informational programs and workshops and we can put them out, and it helps, you know, it's all about customer service and helping the community.
You know, I talked at the top of the hour about the Special Olympic Torch Run, and I know that the North Haven is also involved in the Special Olympics, and I guess your full title is the Department of Community Services and Recreation. That's your full
That's correct.
working title, and are you involved with the Special Olympic cause?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, I have someone who works part-time for me. Her name is Stephanie Serrato. She grew up in North Haven. It was Stephanie Riccio. And she works part-time. She's the liaison between my department and the Special Olympics State Office over in Hamden. And she coordinates our athletes, our volunteers, and our coaches for the town. And what we do is we offer a year-round program, and we do the training and competition for several different sports, and some of them that we have are basketball, softball, swimming, golf, flag football, croquet, bocce, bowling, and track and field. And actually, this weekend, you're talking about the Torch Run. Tomorrow, I'll be on Washington Avenue with some of our team members. And this
Are you running to?
No, I'm not
If
running.
you're running to Wallingford, give me some water.
and
I'll throw it
then
at
this
you.
weekend is the state games over at Southern Connecticut State University, and we have 41 athletes and unified partners participating.
Good for you.
So we want to bring home the gold this weekend.
Yeah. Yeah. You just might. I know
All right.
there's some tremendous athletes.
Ed, what are you doing? Coming by the AT&T building in Wallingford, or?
No, actually I start at Wharton Brook State Park, and we have just under 5 minutes left in the hour here. We go at Wharton Brook State Park, which is Route 5, and we'll go through the center of town, center of Wallingford, and then go up the hill, and we actually hand off to the Meriden Special Olympic athletes in the police departments just at the Firestone building in front. I was going to say Caldor's, but in front of Kohl's.
So where can I catch you in the morning?
Well, if you see me just probably tripped over a manhole somewhere, probably somewhere in Route 5. I've actually tomorrow's supposed to be a good day as far as no humidity tomorrow.
Right.
If it was last week sometime, it probably would have been tough. But I know there's going to be special. I know Dave Blakesley, past guest on this program, and a tremendous athlete in his own right, invited me to run with them again this year. And, of course, members of the police department. So, and as I say, back in my S&ET days, S&ET was one of the sponsors for the Special Olympic Torch Run, and I was fortunate enough to be involved in it.
Is there anything that we haven't touched on that you want to go over quickly before we end?
I think we've covered just about everything. We encourage everyone to come out Tuesday nights right through July and August, and it should be a great summer season for us here in North Haven.
And it starts Saturday, June 15th with Stephen Casano. What time does that concert start?
7 p.m.
7 p.m. as well.
They're all 7.
Okay. And then Tuesday, June 18th, Rich DePalma, DeSadia, Furious George, Big Shot, Vinnie Carr and the Party Band, Fairfield Counts, Rubber City Blues, Classics, Parrot Beach, In Harmony, and Prime Time.
And
Which is what Tommy and I like to be on public access.
Yes.
So.
Before we end, Ed, just a couple of quick announcements. I want to let everybody know that we'll be back here next month on July 2nd with our good friend Vinnie Cervoni, Wallingford Town Councilor. Also, he is a musician.
Yep, I believe he'll be performing for us. A very good musician too, a guitar player. So maybe something to think about for 2014 or 15.
And I just got confirmation the other day that the date is set for this year's Tommy Palooza.
Okay.
It'll be back in Wallingford this year at the Wallingford Elks on Sunday, November 3rd, between the hours of 12 and 5. And this year's Tommy Palooza is going to benefit Shriners Hospital in Springfield, Mass.
Nice. Nice. Good organization. Well, good. So we'll mark that on our fall calendars. Let's see, November the 3rd. All right, the Jets will be about 5-11 by the time that November 3rd, so I'm sure go. We have just got about a minute left, so.
Well, I want to thank Eileen once again, and Mike, always a pleasure.
Great being here.
Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you to all our callers who called in. Ed, pleasure once again.
We will see you at the next show, and it, except for Tuesday, July 2nd, you know where we'll be every Tuesday night this summer.
Good night, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Just talking with Tom. Just talking with Tom. Turn your dial to cable 18. You will see the best in TV. Just talking with Tom. Just talking with Tom. Sit back and listen. You will hear the best conversation of the year. Just talking with Tom. Just talking with Tom. Just talking with Tom. Just talking with Tom.